A space capsule carrying the cremated remains of 166 people crashed into the Pacific Ocean on June 24, 2025, after a catastrophic parachute failure. The mission, operated by memorial spaceflight company Celestis, was supposed to return the remains to families as keepsakes after orbiting Earth. Instead, everything was lost at sea. Here's what actually happened. The Nix capsule, built by German startup the Exploration Company, launched successfully aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from California. The spacecraft completed 2 full orbits, maintained power to all systems, survived atmospheric re-entry, and even re-established communication after the expected blackout period. Every technical milestone was achieved until the final critical moment: parachute deployment. The parachute system failed completely. Without deceleration, the capsule hit the ocean at terminal velocity, destroying everything inside. This wasn't a partial failure where one parachute didn't open. This was total system failure. Parachute failures aren't uncommon in spaceflight. NASA's Genesis mission crashed in 2004 due to accelerometer sensors installed backwards. Boeing's Starliner experienced parachute issues during testing. SpaceX had early Dragon capsule parachute problems. The technology remains one of the highest risk components in any recovery system. The financial impact hits hard. Families paid between $3,495 and $12,995 for this service. That's approximately $580,000 to $2.1 million in total customer payments for this single mission. Celestis hasn't announced any refund policy or compensation plan. Their terms of service likely include liability waivers, given the experimental nature of spaceflight. Legal experts suggest families may have limited recourse. Commercial space activities operate under various international treaties and national regulations, but consumer protection in space services remains largely undefined. The Federal Aviation Administration licenses launches, but doesn't regulate memorial spaceflight services specifically. Insurance becomes complicated. Standard liability policies rarely cover space activities. Specialized space insurance exists, but typically protects operators, not individual customers. Families seeking compensation would need to prove negligence, which is difficult when companies can cite the inherent risks of spaceflight. The Exploration Company's response focused on technical achievements rather than customer losses. CEO Helene Huby emphasized that many mission objectives were met, calling it a partial success. This framing suggests the company views the flight primarily as a technology demonstration rather than a commercial service obligation. Celestis offered no concrete remediation plan. Their statement compared the ocean impact to traditional sea scattering, attempting to reframe the failure as an alternative memorial option. They haven't announced whether affected families will receive priority placement on future missions or any form of compensation. Industry implications are significant. Celestis has operated since 1994 with relatively few major incidents. This crash could trigger regulatory scrutiny of the memorial spaceflight sector. The FAA might implement stricter requirements for missions carrying human remains, potentially increasing costs and reducing market accessibility. The technical investigation will likely take months. Key questions include: was this a manufacturing defect, design flaw, integration error, software malfunction? The Exploration Company must determine root causes before flying their next Nix capsule, currently scheduled for 2026. For comparison, when Virgin Galactic Spaceship Two crashed in 2014, the National Transportation Safety Board investigation took 9 months. That involved 1 vehicle and 2 crew members. This incident involves commercial cargo and 166 paying customers, potentially complicating the investigation timeline. Future missions face increased scrutiny. Celestis has another launch planned for early 2026. Customer confidence may waver. Families considering space burial services will likely demand stronger guarantees, better insurance options, or escrow arrangements protecting their investments. The broader commercial space industry watches closely. As private companies expand beyond satellite deployment and astronaut transport into consumer services, regulatory frameworks must evolve. This incident highlights gaps in consumer protection for space-based services. Technical details matter here. The Nix capsule carried 300 kilograms of cargo, making it a substantial payload. Parachute systems for capsules this size typically include multiple redundancies, main chutes, reserve chutes, and backup deployment mechanisms. Total system failure suggests either a fundamental design issue or cascading component failures. The capsule also carried experimental payloads, including cannabis seeds for Mars agriculture research. While scientifically interesting, mixing commercial memorial services with research payloads raises questions about mission priorities and risk assessment. Moving forward, several outcomes seem likely. Regulatory bodies will probably implement stricter oversight of memorial spaceflight services. Insurance requirements might become mandatory. Companies might need to establish customer compensation funds. Technical standards for parachute systems could face revision. Families affected by this crash face a difficult reality. Without clear compensation mechanisms or regulatory protections, their options remain limited. Some may pursue collective legal action, though success seems unlikely given current space law frameworks. Others must simply accept the loss. The memorial spaceflight industry stands at a crossroads. After nearly 30 years of operations, this high-profile failure could force fundamental changes in how these services operate. Greater transparency, stronger consumer protections, and improved technical standards seem inevitable. What do you think should happen next? Should memorial spaceflight services face stricter regulations, or do customers accept these risks when choosing such experimental services? The investigation continues. Answers may come, but they won't restore what was lost. For now, 166 families wait to learn whether they'll receive any form of compensation or simply become a cautionary tale in the history of commercial spaceflight. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.